Hi, I'm Mark Hummel. I hope you're enjoying the Harmonica Party and the other content that we post on our channel. Now you can become part of the show for the price of a cheap cup of coffee. For $3 a month, you can help bring the blues and the stories to you. Check out our Patreon page and join us for exclusive content, early releases of episodes, and some rewards specifically for our Patreon friends. Thanks for helping us keep the blues alive. Hi, I'm Mark Hummel. Welcome to Mark Hummel's Harmonica Party. We're doing an interview today at Greaseland Studios in San Jose. We have the proprietor of Greaseland, Kid Andersen. And then we have a willing participant and witness, June Core.
Sing the whole thing.
Did you call me appropriator?
An appropriator, yes. An appropriator of Greaseland Studios. So what we're going to talk about today is we're going to talk about Greaseland, how it got started. We're going to talk about Kid Andersen and some of his recording exploits and engineering exploits and the whole thing. So podcasts, we're going to talk about some of the online concerts that he's been doing here for the last 2 years. And just let me just start it. So, Kid.
Start.
You moved here from Norway in what year exactly?
Let's see. It was in 2001, March 7th.
20 years that I've known you, yes.
Yeah.
20 years.
21 almost.
21.
Yeah. First met you in Canada.
Canada.
I think we're playing in Edmonton. Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
when you were playing with Terry Hank.
Yeah.
You moved here, you started playing the guitar in Terry's band.
I actually started playing before I moved here.
Well, that's true. You did start before you moved here, true. But you started playing in American blues bands when you moved here, pretty much right out the gate.
Yeah, I was in Norway, born in Norway, and I fell in love with the blues as it were about age 12, something like that.
Wow.
I just started playing guitar a little bit, and then I discovered blues, and I got this really, in retrospect especially, great guitar teacher, Morten Omligas, who turned me on to all the, he steered me right from, I was listening to, current guys for a second at first, and then he steered me right back to the originators. So I was into that from when I was 12, and then I moved. I wanted to move to America ever since that happened.
Right.
So I was. I got lucky. Got a gig playing in a house band in Oslo when I was 19, and we would actually back up these American artists that we would bring over. And I was looking for a gig, looking for a way to get over here. And finally, Mr. Terry Hank offered me a gig with his band here in California.
Hey, Terry.
And that's how that's how I got here. I had a gig, and I was intending to stay, and so far so.
You're still here. You're still here.
Yeah.
And was Charlie Musselwhite the second gig that you got out of Terry's band, or?
Yeah, that was the next
the next touring act.
Steady gig, yeah.
The next touring act, yeah.
Committed gig, I think, and that was actually this man right here, who got me.
Oh, is that right? Okay, so you got him the gig with Musselwhite.
Yeah.
All right.
You see, when I moved here, I lived in Santa Cruz.
Right.
So did June.
Yeah, I was living
True.
in Santa Cruz at the
True.
time.
I saw him in 1998 with Little Charlie and the Nightcats.
Right.
And my first.
Your future job.
Yeah, my first concert I went to when I moved to the big city of Oslo from my little country town of Hedda in Norway. I moved to Oslo, and I got to see the big city where they had blues shows. And the first one I went to at the Oslo Blues Society was Little Charlie and the Nightcats with June Core on drums.
I didn't know that.
That's wild.
Know that. Yeah.
I'll never forget it. You were actually, well, most people who watch any band with June playing, that's what they're going to remember.
This is true. This is true.
For better or worse.
Yeah, that's my next
You guys
thing
are
to
an
say.
honorary complimentary society here.
No, I'm just telling the truth. Those,
No.
But then when I got here, June was one of the drummers that Terry. When I first got in Terry's band, he had me. He had Fly Brooks on bass, but we didn't have a regular drummer at that point. So there was a rotation of drummers, and one of them was June, of course, my favorite.
Oh,
and,
yeah. You say that
No
now.
offense to the other guy. We became friends, and then I happened to, at one point, I actually lived literally like half a mile from your house.
If that, yeah.
If that,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And so we would hang out all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Just watch movies and get drunk and
those.
watch them again because we were drunk.
those were some days, man. Yeah, those were some days. My little cottage thing.
Yeah.
Well, Santa Cruz has been a real, I mean, when I think about it, Santa Cruz has really been kind of a hotbed of the South Bay before Santa Cruz kind of caught on. It seemed
Before
like...
San Jose caught on.
Yeah, is that what I said? Okay, yeah, before San Jose caught on.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, and it's a
Yeah.
lot of it is it's a lot of the same people.
It really is, yeah. June and Andy Santana, Rusty,
Mike Shermer.
Yeah.
Carino.
Yeah, for a second, everybody kind of lived in
Yeah.
Santa Cruz. It felt like it was like a little right before I got there.
Yeah.
It was kind of.
It was in the 90s.
It was kind of on the tail end when I got there. It was still pretty happening.
Yeah.
I thought Santa Cruz.
It was in the 90s.
And then
I remember there was really...
Everybody's kind of slowly disappeared from there.
Right.
But it was a great place to be. And me and June, we do local gigs with different bands and play together on on different things. And then when this he went to play in Charlie Musselwhite's band, and they had Kirk Fletcher on guitar.
Right, Bob Welch on the keyboard.
Bob Welsh, who later became instrumental.
And then you guys were roommates. I forgot about that. That you guys were
Bob
roommates.
later became instrumental in starting Greaseland.
Yeah, that's really fascinating. Yeah,
And then,
I forgot that.
And at one point, Kirk left to join the Fabulous Thunderbirds.
Right.
And then June recommended me to
And I can
Charlie.
testify, I was at that gig that you guys and Kirk all played with Charlie Musselwhite,
San
which
Francisco
was
Blues Festival.
a killer show. Just killer. It was one of the best two guitar things I ever saw.
Hands down, man.
Yeah.
This guy and Kurt.
They were wicked
I remember,
together.
I remember that.
Yeah.
I don't remember exactly what it sounded like.
Oh, it sounded fabulous.
But it was
It was
that was
really
only
happening.
that was like my
Yeah, your second or third
third
gig,
or
yeah.
fourth gig. I think
Right,
the first one
right.
was at the with Charlie Musselwhite and with June, excuse me, and Bob Welch on piano at the time, and Randy Bermuda's on bass.
Right.
And I had done like Point Arena Theater, the Palms in Winters, California was the first one I
Right.
did. There may have been one more, and then there was the San Francisco Blues Festival,
And it was
which was
killer.
which was a huge gig.
Yeah.
And on top of it, Charlie had also hired his old guitar player, the guy I was taking over for. He was on that, Kirk
Right,
was on the
right.
gig. I was already friends with Kirk, and I loved Kirk.
Right.
And I could see, I was the new guy, and Charlie, didn't know if, how it was going to be or not. I could see why he would, have Kirk there as a backup.
Yeah.
It was always, but it was
Interesting.
also, it was a little bit, intimidating for me. You kind of feel like you're.
Stepping on the old guy's toes.
Yeah,
sort
yeah.
of,
I'm sure we both had
yeah.
okay,
Yeah, how's this gonna go?
But I mean,
Yeah.
we just had fun and played
Yeah.
and
It gelled.
gelled.
it gelled
right away,
beautifully,
right
yeah.
away.
It was all cool. There was no.
And it was kind of a one-shot deal, right? I mean, it was the only time that you guys ever played with Charlie, right?
Yeah.
I believe so.
At least
Yeah.
on a whole gig.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
So then what happened is that Bob Welsh, who I was in Musselwhite's band with, he had this place in Redwood City. He needed a roommate, and we moved in together. And not too long after that, Bob's mom's best friend had this place right here for rent.
Wow.
And me and Bob and I moved in here. Well, I've been there ever since.
Right.
Bob was actually the only one who actually owned any recording equipment. He had a little rolling 8-track thing. but I think they might still be out in the shed. But and he had some decent microphones and stuff like that. And for one thing, yeah, at the time I was always stopping and starting drinking.
Right.
And,
Yes, you were.
And there was a period right when I had stopped, when I felt very energetic and like I need to do something with my time or life or whatever, and it just happened. A friend of mine, this a bass player named Gary Williams, who worked sort of as a janitor at the Hawk. Is that there's some big radio station up Sacramento way.
Okay.
And he was put in charge of basically disposing of all their old equipment after they've upgraded to like all digital setup. So he called me up and he said, "Hey man, I got this tape recorder, I got this board, this mixing board, and a bunch of other crap, and they just want me to get rid of this stuff.
Right.
So they're gonna like throw it in the dump. You want to come and get it?" And I had my friend Alan Goldwater, who runs a studio in Santa Cruz.
Mm-hmm.
So he came over and showed me how to get going and fixed whatever was wrong with this stuff I had, and kind of got us started. The first thing we recorded was P.A. Slim.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow, I
P.A.
didn't
Slim
know
with
that.
was it the harp player played with Charlie something?
Charlie Chavez.
No.
Is that him?
No. This is going to be another one of those 4-minute segments you're going to try to remember the name of this goddamn harp player. He was a nice guy. I think he was paying for it too, so I really should remember his name.
Yeah,
But
God, I don't know.
I can't remember his name. I do remember that I erased one of his solos though, but I wouldn't admit it.
Well, then we don't want to come up with his name.
I didn't want
We
to.
don't want to come up with his name. Then.
No, I didn't mean to. I didn't mean to. It was an
We
accident.
still don't want to come up with his name.
It was an accident.
Sure, it was.
You can
Yes.
still hear
That's
the
when you're new, What do you know?
you can still hear the harmonica on the track because we were all in the same room. So you can hear like kind of a faint harmonica.
Right.
And when I was mixing it, he kept saying, "Hey, can you turn the harmonica up on that one song?" And I just had to convince him that, like, no, man, that's the sound, like that real distant. I didn't want to admit
Yeah,
that
your
I'd
sound was
actually
great.
erased
It's
his.
just you have to listen really hard for it.
I'd actually erased his track. I just didn't want to
Wow.
let him know.
That's great.
So that was the first thing we recorded, and R.J. Mitchell recorded a CD right here called "King of a Mighty Good Time."
Right, I remember that.
Weird shit always used to happen to me every time I stopped drinking, and one of the things that happened is I got married. And
I remember.
You mean when you were drinking?
no, when I was not.
Oh, when you
drinking.
were not drinking. Okay.
Yeah, when I
All right.
started drinking again,
All
that's
right.
how I got out of it.
Yes. This is your Sacramento wife, right? Your Sacramento wife?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, which is the only one I had at the time.
Right.
As that, marriage fell apart as I predicted before we got married.
I hate that.
Yeah, what you got?
Yeah.
It's like I didn't think I was gonna do any better at the time.
Right.
So I went with it, but I also started kind of living here again. Turned it, into the beginning of what it is today, where I had, where I did Pro Tools recording in here because our old gear had fallen apart at that point. And I'd also gotten to know John Namath.
Now, did you end up in John's band for a while? I couldn't remember.
I wouldn't say for a while.
Yeah.
I would be maybe more like for a second.
For a second.
Yeah,
Okay.
off and on.
Right.
For a minute.
But you guys recorded together, is that right?
We were,
Yeah,
later
and then-
on, actually.
And then Bob Welsh ended up in his band for
at
at least a year or two.
Yes, no, actually, I at the time, when I was, in one of my heavier drinking periods, I was, me and John, actually, me and John met each other, I believe, right after that show you're talking about with Kirk and.
Oh, okay,
yeah,
the one, the Musselwhite.
The San Francisco
right.
Blues Festival,
right.
yeah.
Right.
And he was, was somebody I thought was a great singer, someone to look out for in the future. All those assessments were correct.
Yeah.
and you know, and I wanted to start a band with him. So eventually, I quit Musselwhite band to start in a band with John. But it didn't work out because, I mean, at the time my drinking was pretty, you know, a little bit, what you say, out of control, and
I'm sorry.
June was there. As a matter of fact, June was on the tour that got me
Oh,
fired.
yeah. Well, I think
Yeah.
not just June, Wes was on some tours with you. And
Yeah, but the one that the
Yeah.
nail in
The
the
what?
coffin.
The nail in the coffin
nail
was
in
a
the
June-
coffin
June tour?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was on
Okay,
that.
yeah, there you go.
June was on that one.
Right.
Yeah,
So-
we won't go into detail.
No, we don't have to go into
Those are going to be for the Patreon patrons.
Yeah. No, hey, man, you know, I've been open about this. I mean, I literally actually quit. I sent in my resignation with Musselwhite on like a week before Christmas, and then on New Year's Day.
You started with John?
No, I got fired from John.
So that didn't last, in other words, yeah. That didn't last. No, that didn't last.
He fired me because we did a trip between Christmas and New Year that Jim was on with Washington.
So I'm guessing that you didn't put him in your resume.
No, I'm happy to, you know what this is? I don't fault John for that at all.
No,
as a matter of
I'm
fact, it's
kidding.
one of the best things
Yeah.
anybody's ever done for me.
Just fire you?
Yeah, it's fired me because I had, you know, I had kept
deserved it.
I had kept it together enough to that point where
Right.
I could kind of like fucking keep going with this stupid shit, you know.
Right.
And at that point, I was like, oh, this is, man, I've never been fired before.
Right.
You know? This is, you know, it's.
That was kind of the writing on the wall.
Yeah, that was,
Yeah.
you know, that was what you would call, you know, my rock bottom, you know, so far.
Yes, right.
But,
Sure was.
But so the next day after I got the email from John about this isn't working out, he had gotten some reports back from some hotels and stuff about. You know, things that I didn't remember happening, but I'm sure they did. So,
Yeah, they did.
A witness. I told you he was a witness.
I'm no snitch. So,
the next day after Namath fired me, I called up Rick Estrin. We had gotten to be good friends, and I said, Rick, yeah, man, Namath just fired me, you know, I gotta quit drinking. I really want to quit drinking. You know, will you help me? And he said, well, yes. And then we talked about it for a little while. And he mentioned, oh, by the way, little Charlie quit night before last.
Wow. So there's some timing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He goes, little Charlie just
That's
finally.
some timing.
He goes. He usually quits every year about this time, but this time he's really serious.
Yeah.
I think Charlie said he quit 8 times.
Yeah, I know.
I said, do you think that there was like maybe a boy who cried wolf thing going on with this?
Well, I guess I was the boy who shot the wolf.
I guess
Because then Rick, you know, said, hey, you want to start a band together? And I was like, yeah. I mean, I couldn't believe that he would have the confidence in me after what I just told him,
Right.
to hire me.
Maybe
in
he's
the
counting
band.
on your sobriety. I'd say.
And well, I've been sober for about, you know,
A day.
6 hours at that point.
All right, well, we're going to take a little break, and we'll be right back with Kid Andersen and June Core and more stories about the Greaseland starting. Hi, I'm Mark Hummel. I hope you're enjoying the Harmonica Party and the other content that we post on our channel. Now you can become part of the show for the price of a cheap cup of coffee. For $3 a month, you can help bring the blues and the stories to you.